Hey, community, here's what's brewing today.
Renaissance of Film by Beyonce.
And it is just part one.
So get your Renaissance cups ready for Minority Report. Hey, welcome to Minority Report. It's Auntie Carell.
It's Auntie Dewan.
And it's Auntie Jarrell.
Hey, ladies.
Y'all.
Ooh, how y'all doing today?
We're good. I'm excited to talk about what we got to talk about today.
That part, I know.
Let me tell you.
We've been holding this in. We ain't been texting about it.
Nothing.
Barely don't put anything up on social media. We're like, shit, no, y'all got to hear it out our mouths first.
This is the dedication for our community because the level of self-restraint from the moment that we were re-exposed
to the Beyonce.
Yes.
Honey. But before we get into that, community. Thank you, Booze. Like, we saw your Spotify Wrapped and everything, and us being like your favorite podcast and most listened to podcast of the year. That's fucking wild to me. Like, that's dope.
Honestly, I agree. Like, once I started seeing it, I was like, wow, wait, people listen? Like,
right.
And I think it's just because like so many people in the community, like we actually interact with and we talk with on a regular basis, that I feel like I just talk to them normally, and that like it's not connected through the podcast. But then when I see that, I'm like, damn,
it's like
that's and that's love too. You know, I mean, like the truth is, there's a lot of things that people can choose to support out there, and the fact that, you know, the community choose to support us and continue to support us, and the way that you all show up for us and put actions behind your words. Like, you all message us and connect with us one-on-one and the podcast DMs as well too. But to see you also show up behind the words is just beautiful. So really, for real, shout out for y'all. Like,
yeah.
And shout out to Trav. Like I met Travis in Atlanta through the queer business groups that they have there. If this was like his third year in a row that it was like his top podcast that he listened to, so shout out to you, boo. And I mean, there's a lot of folks like that, and we shout out a lot of people here and there, like Dom and everybody. Blah, blah, blah. But Trav, we never shouted you out because you've been rocking since like day one too. Like, I remember telling you, like, when we were like starting this podcast, and you're like, oh yeah, keep me posted, da 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 da. And so for this to come up every year and you still rocking with this, that's cool. That's cool, man. So I appreciate you.
And that's how I feel about my friend Johnny too. And hey, Johnny, because like Johnny is one of my good Judies from back from Minneapolis, but he's also like a white gay man too that also still supports and show allyship to the Black queer community, right? And that conversation that we always talk about, how, you know, it's on other people in the queer community to make space for those who are part of the marginalized communities within the queer community. So to see like folks like Johnny like show up for us and stuff like that too, like means a lot as well too.
I agree. So yeah, no, community, y'all dope. Y'all are dope. Y'all are dope. We appreciate you. But now moving on to another Johnny. Uncle Johnny made my dress.
Uncle Johnny. All
right, spoiler alert. And I mean, even for us, we're about to be a week later than we wanted to truly be. So if you ain't seen the movie, the film,
it ain't a spoiler. Let me tell you, as far as I'm concerned, and y'all should know, the aunties, by now, you should know this ain't no damn spoiler. This just you behind. You late.
Literally, for as much as we talk about Beyonce on this podcast, and we will continue to do so, this should not come as a surprise. And listen, today's going to be the conversation. We're going to unpack it all.
Honey. And this ain't for entertainment purposes. This is for like facts and reality, ho. It is what it is. This ain't a game.
I can hear the girls being like, there's more to talk about. Yes, ho.
Yes. And there will continue to be.
Look.
And there will continue to be.
All right.
I can
All right.
tell.
So
I can tell who couldn't afford the $35.99. Who could?
I'm done. I'm done. Not. She done chose violence at the start of the episode. We
at
didn't
the
even
start,
get 4 minutes and 43 seconds into
she
the
said,
episode.
"Fuck the holidays, Scrooge." Okay. So, and we had to like break this shit down. We're like, how do we even like break this shit down? How do we coordinate this? So we're gonna start like just even from the beginning of just like going to the theater and just the ambiance of the whole situation and people
I
still
was
getting.
robbed. I
Ooh,
was fucking robbed.
I was
I'm
kind of
ready to
robbed
jump
too.
in. Let me go first. Let me tell you this. It is a concert movie, bitches. And if you take your ass to a concert movie and you expect people to be quiet, nigga, it's basically a sing along at this point. Okay, it's given adult PBS with the words at the bottom.
Let's give
A
a
bitch is
blues
supposed to
clues
be up,
sing
clues.
along.
Okay, everyone know the motherfucking words, and you
Yeah.
are supposed to sing along. I was upset. And okay, to be fair, and I know people are like, you did it to yourself, bitch. You live in a white ass city. So, I mean, the bar was already low. So maybe this is just on me. Maybe this is
It's
just
on
me.
me too because I moved from
Maybe
Atlanta
it's
and
just
I
on
was
me.
mad.
Girl, when I tell you the girls were sitting down, I walked up in that bitch with my full ass get up from the actual Renaissance tour. Matt, who came with us, Matt Haynes, hey boo, who wore his pink leotard and everything with his pink cowboy hat, came dressed in. The gays understood the assignment. We all came up in there with some sparkly chrome. Did it. Ensemble. Look, we knew. But I can tell who the broke bitches were.
Oh no.
And
not two times in the episode, broke bitches. Damn.
6 minutes, 43 seconds.
And I can tell who the bitches that were able to be up in there from the get-go, who understood the assignment before going to the theaters. So all I got to say is, if you take your ass to that movie and you have not seen the concert, you better treat it like a motherfucking concert and keep that shit pushing.
That's a word. No, that's a whole word. Because I felt robbed too because I wanted to go see it at an IMAX. Because I was like, I want the big ass screen.
Mm-hmm.
I want this shit to rumble me like them subwoofers in the back of your Cadillac. That's what I want. And so the IMAX here in Philly, at least this area, there's two of them. There's one in like Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and there's one in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. And the key word in that sentence was Pennsylvania. Yeah. Whatever comes to your mind about Pennsylvania outside of Philadelphia and maybe Pittsburgh is exactly what was in there. And I was upset at life. Like there was a sprinkling of, pepper in there, and we got our lives. But we get in there. We get in there, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, all I want is a cup and a bucket. And we get in there. Corey and I like go and grab dinner right quick. We like scarf that shit down. We go in there, and there's this two gay white men in front of us. One of them gets a cup, one gets a bucket. I'm like, oh, cool. They still got a cup and a bucket. We here. We get up there. Yes, we want the Beyonce meal. The number 3, whatever it is. Number 4, because that's her favorite number. Number 4, please. And he rings it in. We give him the credit card, blah, blah, blah. And he goes to searching. The motherfuckers in front of us got the last cup and bucket.
Oh,
and
no.
I was upset at life. So to the point where they had to like unring, like they had to like give us our money back, like cancel that thing because it would cost more. Ring up a regular ass popcorn and drink. And so we're like, oh damn. I was like, that's literally all I wanted. I was like, I just wanted this damn cup and bucket. So we go and sit down. The show in front of us wasn't done. So we were sitting outside the theater, and the manager, we see her walk past us, and she goes in like to some back room. 5 minutes later, she comes out with a whole cart of cups that she found back there. She didn't find any more buckets, so that's fine. But she goes, here, I know you guys really want these cups, and I found some back there. Here you go. You don't even need to give me money. I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Won't he do it?
Won't he
do
That's
it?
all
Yeah,
I wanted.
now.
I was about to, where's my tambourine? I was about to shout up and down that hall. So here's my cup here, community. Drinking this episode is out my Beyonce Renaissance cup. I mean, it's just a regular ass plastic cup, but it meant some shit to me in that moment.
I know that's right.
But
Look,
yeah,
our theater
same
didn't
thing.
even
Like
have
people,
any of it. Our theater didn't
really?
have cups or buckets, bitch.
So
but I agree. Like I wish I was in Atlanta seeing this movie for the ambience. I saw the Fox Theater
London
on fucking internet, and I was mad. I was like, why did I move from Atlanta, Georgia?
Bitch, they were on the seats, bitch, getting their whole ass life. Bitch,
that's what I wanted.
I had to double check, and I was a part of me was almost like, oh, maybe that's a little too much. Maybe that's
no,
it was a lot.
Not at
but
all.
No,
not at all.
No, because here's the thing. But here's the thing, and this is why I said it's a little too much. Because the non-concert parts, a bitch wanted to hear that, and you know you weren't hearing that shit.
Yeah,
you know you were not hearing that shit in the theaters, and I would have been fighting people. Shut the fuck up! She ain't dancing no more. You don't hear the music no more. I wouldn't hear what Beyonce got to say.
But the trade-off is, you know, that if you have that experience where it's just a concert experience, you know you're gonna see the movie anyway because you want to soak in every single word that's being said anyway. So like, it would have been a nice trade-off to have the party going through the whole thing and be like, okay, I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna either catch
let
it
me go to the matinee on Sunday then.
Exactly. Because I want to hear the words that are coming out of the mouths.
See, your girl's already been in the club, so I didn't need to go to the club again. She already been in Club Renaissance, so I didn't need to hear what Beyonce had to say.
Yeah, no, I
heard every word.
Second I saw that, I heard every word. I was mad.
Every goddamn word.
Okay, so what was your experience like then? Did you have the turn up experience?
No, I did not have the turn up experience.
So that's why you heard every word.
Exactly. And I would have sacrificed not hearing every word if I had the turn up experience. I would have been cool with that, because then I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna see it separately when I can actually luxuriate and soak in every single word. I literally would have been my whole MO, because honey, we was right up there. We weren't in Renaissance, but we was right next to Renaissance, so we were vibing right there with you, boo. So,
all I'm saying is, I've seen her twice, and seen her in Club Renaissance walk by me 6 feet by me, 8 feet this way, multiple times. Like, when you can see her right there, it just doesn't transfer to film. For me, going to see it in the theater was just all about the surround sound, like hearing that bass.
I want that IMAX. I got that.
That was honestly the only reason why. And then it was nice to see the surprise of how much we got to hear behind it. So that's why I was that much more excited between the two.
Could you imagine seeing this at the premiere with Beyonce in there, and you with some turn-up celebrities like T.S., you like, you know, just like, bitch, I'm black. That's me, ho.
Girl.
Could you imagine? Like a Zach Campbell in there, a Kaylin in there, just queer and black as shit, and Beyonce just a couple rows down the street, down the crib.
Bitch, I'd be afraid to breathe if I'm being honest. Like, oh, am I annoying her? Can she hear me?
I wouldn't. Nope. You gonna see and hear me today, Beyonce.
Nah, girl. Unless Julius gonna remove my ass from that theater.
Ooh, he could touch me all he wants to.
Okay. He can throw me out like Uncle Julius. Phil. He can throw me out like Uncle Phil tossed.
I'm a damsel in distress.
I'm very, very happy that I had the opportunity to see the movie in the theater. Like, even though I didn't get the turn up experience, and even like the path to me even seeing this was riddled with obstacles. Not one obstacle, because the obstacle didn't even end up going to the movie with me.
Oh, girl, we didn't get this in the group chat.
No.
Oh, she's really been saving this.
Oh, yeah, damn.
Oh. Back up 2 weeks ago when we were planning the whole conversation around, are we going to watch the Beyonce movie, and then are we going to talk about it on the podcast, and da-da-da-da-da. When we were on the podcast, I'm like on the thing, booking my tickets. I'm like, okay, I find it. I'm going to do this. Friday evening, At 7:00, I'm going to the show. I got 2 tickets. We're good.
Fast forward to Thanksgiving.
No. I done forgot that I was flying out that morning out of New York to go to Chicago. So I booked tickets in New York City for a show that I'm not even going to be at. So number one.
Literally, on Thanksgiving, he was like, hold on. I booked that Beyonce movie, and we ain't even gonna be in New York. I was like, girl, well, you better find you a matinee, because you know Jarrell not gonna talk about it.
So $100 later, after I lost that one and basically gave those 2 tickets away, which, by the way, Jarrell, if you remember from the actual Beyonce concert in Paris with whom we both attended, I ended up buying tickets and I ended up giving away for the Beyonce concert to my sister and her boyfriend so that they could attend. So I blessed somebody else. Yeah. There's just room for everybody. So
period.
So the whole point of flying from New York to Chicago was a wedding that was happening on Saturday night. And so I got tickets for the matinee on Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
Got there. By the way, I said this to Adam. I was like, okay, so I got these tickets. It's the afternoon. Give us plenty of time to like go see this, come back, shower, change, get ready for the wedding, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so are you down for that? He's like, he didn't get 2 seconds into that. That I said, you know what? You do not have to go. Enjoy your afternoon. Do whatever it is that you're going to do. I will be over there. So, bye. So I skedaddled my little ass right on over to the AMC in River North, along with the probably 12 other people that was in that theater at that time of the day on a Saturday afternoon. There was about 3 gays, and I knew how many gays there were because there were moments throughout the whole documentary where the hands went up and you saw this. So I said, my people, yes. There was no praise dancing. There was no praise dancing, no dancing in the aisles. And I had to celebrate in solitude within my own recliner seat, leaned all the way back and just...
He said, move out. He had to do it under his breath. He said, move out the way. Oh, my girls need space.
Honey, when I tell you, every once in a while after like they would stop the music and my hands would come down, I would like lean back up and look around.
Lord. Damn. Yeah, no.
I regret nothing.
That experience.
I regret nothing.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't. The only thing that I would have loved to have, the only thing that I would have said that I would have loved to actually have happened was I would have loved for the 3 of us to have been in the theater at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. I thought that the same thing would have been because honestly, in the midst of it, I was like this close to texting the both of you all. But I was just like, I can't because then they're going to know what part I'm at in the movie. And then I was like, I'll just wait. So
I know
we've been holding on to this.
A friend Issa called literally right at the start of the movie. And he was like overseas, for a wedding and friends' 40th birthdays and all this shit. So he just turned up over in like Dublin. And so I answered right quick. I'm like, I'm seeing Beyonce. And I showed the screen and he's in the club like, I was like, love you, boo, bye. All right, so clearly,
by the way, I texted him on Saturday because I was like, bitch, are you in Chicago? Because I'm in Chicago at this Beyonce concert. No, I'm in Dublin. I'm like, what the
he's like, I'm in Europe. Oh, man. So, okay, before we even like start dissecting this for the review, let's just even probably just give our overall reaction now. Did it live up to the hype that we already knew what the show was because we went like twice and once and across the world and all this stuff and seen all the clips? Did it relive maybe that energy again for you? And was the film as a whole what you thought it was going to be?
I'm going to say no, because it exceeded my expectations, bitch.
Yeah.
Like it exceeded, not just lived up, it exceeded.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea what really to expect. And I was okay if it would have just been purely concert, but she didn't have to give us that insight the way she did.
Yeah.
And Dewan, you and I, we were at dinner talking about the logistics, right, of the stage. And right off the bat, I was just like, because you know the bitches were wondering, we were wondering.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I think if we said it on here, I was like, because people were trying to convince me. I was like, I have a fucking logistics degree. Y'all ain't about to tell me how this shit work. I know they got more than one stage because I was like, this is impossible.
To rebuild over and over and over. Yep.
Yeah.
And she said, we got 3, ho.
3. Yeah. 3. I called it.
Before the movie, I told Corey, because Corey's Mr. TikTok king. He be on it all day, every day. I was like, Corey, if you see a clip of this movie and you tell me anything from this damn film, that might be grounds for divorce. And I'm so dead ass serious. And he tried to tell me, he's like, there's just one scene that I just know you're gonna love. Can I tell you now? And this was at dinner, so like 20 minutes before we get there, I was like, I done made it this long without seeing shit. You trying to spoil it over dinner? And so that part came up in the movie, the 3 stage, and he looks at me. That's what I wanted to tell you. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, thank you, Boo, for knowing that I'm a nerd about logistics.
And thank you, Boo, for not ruining my appetite.
I was so dead ass serious.
I had, in my mind, I had the litmus test of Madonna's Truth or Dare. And so in my mind, I'm just like, okay, it could be like this, or it can be a completely 180 and could be completely different. And what I was unprepared for now in retrospect, I was really unprepared for the fact that this was like 4 or 5 different documentaries that were interwoven into one seamlessly. Absolutely seamlessly. And, you know, like you asked the question around, does it live up to the expectations of, you know, a video version of, you know, the concert experience? I've been to many a concerts with Beyonce to see her. And every single time that there was a song being played, it transported me right back to being in Paris, seeing her perform on stage. And literally every scene, I was like, wait a minute. Did I see that outfit? Did I see that look? Did I remember that? Like every single, and in the midst of that was going on, it like, there was like a feeling of euphoria because there were like these just moments of just pure celebration of not only the historicness of what this means for our community, our collective community, Black queer community, intersectional, but also like what it meant to be in that audience and to have experienced it live, and then to have the opportunity to experience from a different vantage point. Because like we were, Jarrell and I were on the floor.
Yeah.
And the visuals, the visual presentation of her performance was so expansive that it is impossible from our vantage point to even capture it all within your field of vision. I remember being on the floor and literally moving my head around to capture everything that was going on. So seeing the movie, when you are able to actually take it all in from a holistic perspective and then compare that to your own memory of the vantage point, it was just a next level experience for those that actually went to the concert.
Yeah. Like seeing it twice, the first time I was just like gobsmacked. It was hard to take in. Second time, still gobsmacked. A little easier to take in, but still, there was just so much going on that you're like, I can't soak this in. And seeing the movie again, there's just pieces that I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even hear that. Oh my God, I didn't even see that. And being in IMAX, and you know, I'm a nerd about the music and Sonics, just some of the transitions and stuff that I didn't even hear both times. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Because
I
really quickly,
I thought it was mission shit.
Really quickly, because people don't understand, like when you are in a concert, part of it is you hear the music that's going on and you physically feel the vibrations through your body, but also a lot of it is muffled because of all the screaming that is going on around you. So like there are components of it that are
from
so
my body.
Right, that from every orifice,
from everybody, from me.
But there are so many nuances that are missed because of the concert experience that you really got to experience for the first time holistically, purely through this media.
And it made me teary again at parts. Like, it's gonna make me teary think about it because like there's something about this show that there's almost this kid energy that is just so pure and happy. And it touches on everything musicality that I love. It touches on everything nerd wise that I love. And just again, that young kid of just loving music and loving pop culture and pop music and Destiny's Child and Beyonce and being queer and all this all wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
And still, like, I just feel so vulnerable and seen again for the third time and it's just such a pure joy that it brings out me. Like, I was looking at Corey, like, cheesing, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I was like, and it's so cool to have that innocence again.
Mm-hmm.
Just pure happiness. I'm not thinking about the craziness of the world right now. I'm not thinking about, like, the bills that are coming up. I'm not thinking about being hated because I'm Black and queer. I'm not thinking of any of that. I'm purely in the moment, which is hard for me, like, because my brain is always going, for my brain to shut off and enjoy what I'm seeing, and it's touching on so many parts of me. It's insanity. So Beyonce, thank you. It's insane.
Which also is a counterpoint of frustration because you want everyone else around you. Like I remember
feel that same.
Right. I remember the feeling of unity being in the concert. The feeling of everybody is on the same wavelength. That
Everyone.
I could probably count on one hand the number of times in my life where I've experienced, maybe two hands, the amount of times that I've experienced where everyone was on the same vibrational like accord. You know, and so
for that to come through film is so hard, and they did it. They did it.
But, you know, I think that's a testament to her point, though, of what she wanted the album to do, which is just to release this level of freedom. That's why she called the release, you know, the wiggle from Break My Soul. She just wanted to be unapologetically free. And Corel, to your point, like I get what you're saying, like that childlike innocence, like or happiness. You normally only see that with children, just like this blissful, just everything is wonderful. Because as adults, we know the world, you know, called life and the scam that comes with it, you know, and all the shit that would try to piss in your Cheerios and rain on your parade and all the rest of that stuff. And to be able to feel that again as an adult, where we don't really get a lot of moments because life will step on your neck and continue to put pressure on it. Okay. It was just so unique and so amazing to just have a moment and a moment, almost 3 damn hours of being able to feel like that. But I want to just go back to one other thing, Dwan. I am with you. I would have loved to have been there next to you too. Because I was like looking at Matt and Fizz, and I'm just like, I'm just sitting here like, and they just like, I'm like, I
like,
need
y'all
me.
get this.
It's a. We were all vibrating, but we were on. But there is something for us melanated individuals that we vibrate on a different level, and there were so many moments through. First of all, I cried probably 4 times.
Twice. I cried twice.
4 times.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one, man.
No. I'm just going to admit it. Like, girl, within the first 10 minutes, the opening.
And it was just so pretty.
Just like.
You know, the one thing I told Corey, though, in that moment, I was like, it would have been dope and it would have been so Beyonce of her to be like, wherever the movie was shown that she had a city, that the opening scene she reset where like your city. So like I'm in Philly, she'd be like Philadelphia or Seattle or like a low raspy, and that opening moment be distinct for each city. And that would have been a lot of work.
a lot of logistical work
because they got this movie together in like 2 months, which is crazy to tell the tour. And shout out, #1 movie of the weekend. Especially after
highest grossing,
a slow weekend after Thanksgiving, they say.
Highest grossing documentary style movie of all time.
A+ on the cinema score. 100%
highest grossing
Rotten
weekend.
Tomatoes,
excuse me. Highest grossing weekend for a documentary of all time.
So breaking records again. Go ahead, Beyonce. We see you, boo. All right, so let's get into maybe the movie now. So like, it honestly starts like the concert started, really. Which I was like curious how she was gonna bring this in, and literally it was pretty much the Beyonce's thing,
intro.
Her like laid out with her titties all out.
Yep.
It's like, ladies and gentlemen, Beyonce, and she comes off the ground. It goes right into Dangerously in Love.
Dangerously in Love, yeah.
And she of course she chose, I think it was the Atlanta outfit where it was like damn near like a sheer black
the black one.
The black one.
The black panty.
Yeah.
I was like, bitch, you better show this body. I know that's right, ho. I was like, bitch, you look so good.
She was giving it to him. The whole damn feel was giving it to them. And I appreciate too that she kept it in order of the actual concert as well too. That was one thing that I really appreciated. So it was, again, transporting you right to where it was. And she only did 2 of the opening songs, so it was
which is
cool.
good. Because we like, as much as I love like 1+1 and all those, we didn't need those again. We didn't need those.
No, we didn't.
We need to just get into the renaissance of it, and I think it was smart to cut those. And then again, flaws and all. Oh my god! Like was never. Go ahead.
Can we just acknowledge the fact that for those who did not have the opportunity to experience that at concert, what she was able to deliver was a pseudo concert experience for people that are sitting there watching this for the very first time. Like, in my mind, it is so visceral, like what that, even though I missed like the first 3 minutes of the opening.
So she finally got to see it.
She's probably right, got to see her come off the ground.
But it's so emblazoned in my brain, that experience, the cost was so expensive, the travel, the whatever, all the things that goes into that concert experience, because this was an investment. And then just the dichotomy of watching it from this vantage point as a viewer, but then also realizing that there are people that are sitting around me in the theater that they are now having the Beyonce experience in a softer kind of way, but they're getting the Beyonce experience that I don't think that they were even prepared for. And quite frankly,
I didn't give a fuck about anybody else in the movie theater, bitch. I was there for myself.
I kind of was there for myself too. I get it, what you're saying in theory.
I get what you're saying, but let me tell you, I'm being honest. I didn't even think about how other people received this film. But I'll tell you, I was there selfishly.
I was kind of there selfishly too. I really kind of was.
Now I'm actually thinking about how people felt about this, seeing it for the first time.
If you weren't in like my immediate, like, because there was like black girl and her friends right here, and then it was Corey, and then some black girls she was very pretty with some dookie braids. I was like, yes, bitch, you're killing it. To the left of him. If you weren't like right there, I didn't even acknowledge other human beings in existence. Besides the folks on the screen, my husband, and me.
Look, I just knew that it was going to be different than the concert. And I remember, to like DeJuan's point, that just being there, and it was just so much, I knew that this was going to be different. And I did not want to waste a single bit of energy thinking about somebody else. I wanted to be prepared as possible to receive whatever she was about to give us. So I literally was like, fuck these
hoes. Fuck this baby.
Girl. I
No, I
really did
agree.
not care.
I did not
Yeah.
care at
So
all.
after the opening, she gave us like the first look into we were talking about like the
Yeah.
sets and
Yeah.
instead of
But hold
anything
on.
up.
I got
And
quickly call out flaws and all because that's the Adventures of the Land of Music by Dynasty. We did say that on our original tour recap. And by the way, check that out if you haven't. I'll maybe put that link somewhere. That still hits so fucking good. Like that mix, and it's like the camp. A lot of people know that song from Camp Lo. I don't know if you guys remember Lucchini from the '90s, like that song Lucchini.
Yep.
So people recognize from that flaw. Who, if that was Amorphous that like decided that, or whoever decided that, that might be my favorite mix of the entire show.
Wow.
The entire show, and
Okay.
that's saying a lot.
Because there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Because there's a lot of good shit in there.
There's a lot.
But that one, it just hits so sonically good. And it sounded just as good as I remember it in my brain. And then being it, and that shit was bumping. Oh, I was like, whoo. Okay. Now, but then they got into like the first glimpse of like the behind the scenes shit. Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like when they were saying that they were hoisting people up and hanging from the rafters to put the panels together, each panel at a time.
I wish you showed us how many panels it was because that's a big ass screen.
I just
well, you saw the panels were huge.
Yeah.
Like even the panels were like
they were bigger than a person.
Like fucking TVs.
Yeah,
they were bigger than a person. And what I appreciated is that she acknowledged all the women that were in the trenches doing the work. And it just like there are so many layers to what this documentary did in terms of representation. Like if we think about like what she did with the album, she translated her appreciation for all the people that made her possible.
Yeah.
Uncle Johnny, the Black queer community, etc.
Houston, yeah.
She took that to the next level with this documentary, and she set the tone, by acknowledging the women, the so many women engineers, and even to the point of having specifically styled staff jumpsuits, so that when the staff, the crew, were doing things around, that they were part of the total experience, which made them be a part of the show, not just somebody doing the work. It just like the
and that
level
makes
of
you
detail
want to
and
do your best
appreciation,
work,
honey.
Like when you feel appreciated and seen like that. And we say that like to our day to day and like just corporate America, whatever it may be. When you feel like you're seen and valued, that is so huge. And so for someone on that level of Beyonce, she could be like, bitch, I don't care about y'all. I'm Beyonce. And for her at this point of her life and career to still be like, no, I see you. I value you. Thank you. Let's put on the best show. We got this as a team. It's dope to see.
Can we also talk about her lighting skill though, bitch? Let me tell you, when she was talking about, let me tell you how we're going to light this bitch.
I know, that's right.
I said, she said, I'm going to make sure that I get the right light.
She said that's the biggest that they make because
that's the biggest camera they make.
Because I was looking online and I found.
But that's the whole other part. That's the whole other part. That's the whole other part that even got me. Girl.
From what I see.
When she started talking about why people trying to test me, she's like, some people think they can just keep bullshitting me and they just gonna wear me down. But they don't know. I don't give up.
That part.
Bitch.
And
when she said, I don't feel like I need to continue to repeat myself. I feel like I'm repeating myself.
How many times I'm gonna say
it? Look. Yeah. She said, that's the biggest lens you got? That's the biggest lens you got? Well, I think to get that one.
That one. She said, I don't care if it's a fish eye, a lens. You gonna find that lens. You gonna find that lens today.
I literally remember being at the concert and I remember seeing the staff, and I literally thought that they were choreographed, part of the production, not realizing until the movie that they were staff, but because of the intentionality in terms of incorporating that process, the behind the scenes, to be part of the scenes into the whole thing. And to know that this documentary has been in the works for 4 years, that the production of the tour, and then of course but with in mind the documentary, because she doesn't do anything in a vacuum. the amount of foresight that she and that team had to be really thoughtful about all of these components to make up this performance, this show,
And
this
the amount of NDAs. Because none of that shit leaked.
none of it at all.
Because you saw how thick that book was. She had the different iterations, which is another lesson. There's iterations to this shit.
Yeah.
And to be okay with iterations. But the level of that shit, that book was so thick and nobody said shit, which goes to the value of people saying, no, I feel value. I ain't going to leak this shit because this is about to be amazing.
This is going to be epic.
Yeah.
You know, and
but
having the right team around you, that is so key.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I also liked about this as well, too, is that it really kind of shut the haters up about Beyonce as an artist. Right?
Say that again, please.
The people out there always got something to say. Beyonce don't do this. Beyonce don't do this like this person. But when you watch this documentary, bitch, Beyonce does it all.
Everything.
Okay? From the gowns, from the choreography, from the stage setting, from the lighting to who's hired in the crew, to logistics, to Beyonce
sound check.
Every single fucking thing. And let me tell you, sis, you can tell it was real because sis was tired. You saw there were scenes in her and you can tell that she was not sleeping.
Yeah.
There were scenes where everyone else is asleep on couch and she's sitting there like this,
dozing off
on the laptop and still working. Look, there was one time when she did this.
Yep. She's like, hold on.
And she like rubbed her eyes. Yep.
And she was up. Yep. She was like, up. No, we got shit to do. We got shit to do.
I remember all on a bum knee, like we said, because we knew at the beginning of the tour, we're like, something's off.
Yep. And we were saying her foot. It was a knee.
And she was able to make this tour around her saying, you know what? Okay, I might not be able to drop it low for Jesus like I used to. But guess what? My voice is still here.
Yeah.
And so guess what? And you could tell that's probably why she started with her singing at the beginning. She's like, okay, this is the intentionality now. Yeah. Showing them, y'all ain't about to take this voice away. This voice is killer.
Yeah.
Then as the tour goes on, my knee will continue to rehab. And by the end of this tour, she was dancing by the end of the tour.
Yeah. One of the things
it was just kind of cool to see that piece of it too. Because like she has the flaws and all, even though we think Beyonce is perfect. And she said, I'm not a machine, I'm human. But she works through these adversities, through these flaws and all, to give us renaissance. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And what I appreciate in hindsight and having the time to really think through and unpack what I saw and experienced through the documentary, a lot of times Beyonce gets flack for being kind of like ego driven and like it's all about her or whatever. And I think, to Jarrell, your point, that shut all that shit down. Because if anything, I came away with even more respect for the craft and the intellect and the business savvy and the ability to execute and motivate and inspire thousands of people across the globe to bring the vision of this tour and the experience that she wanted to create to life, and the personal accountability that she had for herself to ensure that she's just not delegating. She's in it with you. And like, it unlocked a certain level of respect that I had personally for her that I never really thought that I needed, because I was satisfied with her craftsmanship. I was satisfied with her showmanship. I was satisfied with her performance capability. But to see the other layers of motherhood and businesswoman and technical savvy and operational excellence and the curiosity, the curiosity that she had, like she talked so much about how much she asked about different aspects of everything to learn so that she can be in a much more a better position to be able to ensure that the final product is what she really wants. The level of respect that I had for her as a holistic icon, like to me, I left feeling like I was a fan, but now she's like icon status to me.
Yeah. And you know, one of the things that made me boohoo is when she talked about Tina Turner. And she talked about Tina passing on the tour. And you can see that she transitioned into understanding that she is an icon and that
She's
she
setting
has a
it up for the next
platform and
generation.
she's setting it up for the next
Yep.
generation.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
see her like accept that and be like, this is my calling now. This is what I am here to do. And then to see her actually do it. So not just say it, but put action behind it. I left that being like, Beyonce, you didn't have to do that for anybody. You didn't have to do that for anybody, but you did. And you understand your calling and that this is now supersedes you.
Yeah. And that's why,
Right?
like, I always say I just really enjoy, and I've said it many times about Beyonce, I just enjoy people knowing their calling and doing the work still to better their calling.
Yes.
And making sure
Yes.
that you know that it's not about you, that is bigger than even you.
Yeah.
And seeing that is like the message for me. It's just like, put your all into it because it's not about you. It's about someone else that is seeing that now is pushing even further for like someone 60, 70 years from now that we can't even foresee.
Yep.
Oh, like, and so that's what makes me boohoo along with you, Jarrell, because it's just like, it's bigger. It's bigger than just Beyonce.
This
even though that's pretty damn
documentary,
big.
right? This documentary, in effect, is a playbook for what being a superstar really is.
Because you saw all the Michael Jackson fans falling out. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, that's like the Michael Jackson fans falling out. All
The parallels.
But
but if you think about what I don't think that we even had an inkling of even half of what Michael was involved with, because Michael in throughout his career was intricately involved in every single aspect of his tours. And we didn't really learn about that until many years later. But now we get to see, Beyonce's in this following the same path. And what she's been able to do is lay down a playbook for anybody else that wants to achieve her level of status or go beyond. This is what you got to do. You got to roll up them sleeves, because if you just want to Mariah Carey and just walk on stage and just write and sing a song, like, love me some Mariah, but at the end of the day, if you want to just show up and do the job, or do you want to build something bigger than who you are, this is what you got to do.
That's a word.
1000%.
So I found myself throughout like a lot of the scenes anticipating certain things. So she gets into like, I'm that girl, which is dope. But I was like, oh, I'm just waiting for Cozy. I'm waiting for that. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
And so I found myself throughout the whole show. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for to this part. Right? Exactly. And so, I mean, like, the way they captured it, it was beautifully shot, by the way. Like, even though we saw all the cameras there, like, live in person, them 8K, like, it's cinematic as fuck, because they shot the shit out this movie. Like, there was, and then even the trailer,
girl,
I mean, like,
I was about to say the editing. That was just about to say the editing was.
We saw a glimpse of it in Homecoming between like the pink and the yellow. This was a whole level.
This is that was, when you say glimpse, it was like Ben, by the way. Squint. It was a squint.
Because Ben, like, I've been following that Ben guy even before Homecoming. He's the one that like Beyonce kind of found, and this is kind of his aesthetic. And now he's kind of built a broader team. Shout out to you, your team, homeboy, because baby, y'all shot this shit and edited this shit out.
She would do like some hairography and like flick her hair, and then they would come back and she was in a whole new outfit. And I was just like, a completely new outfit, and I'm just watching the choreography, and I'm like, oh, God, look.
But even like,
I was like, this is.
I know we're gonna talk about the outfits, but like even just the cutaways, specifically with the outfit changes while the musicality is going on, and it is so perfectly synced up, like
that too.
Like,
we'll get to it. Diva was probably my favorite one. Diva and Run the World, like that whole scene between the costume change, I was like, that is fucking nasty. So okay, we're jumping over. All right, so Cozy, it's Cozy. Are you kidding me? With the robots, like, it's so iconic at this point. Like, you see it all over Instagram and TikTok. Then obviously Alien Superstar. Oh, I mean, are you kidding me? It's still incredible. And then Sleep on them hoes. Sleep on them hoes, V. Sleep on them hoes. And then we go into Liftoff, which a lot of people, it was interesting. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't know Liftoff. I was like, yeah, it was from the Jay-Z and Kanye album, but like she sang the shit out of it. And it fit perfectly for that first closing of that first segment of Renaissance. You know, because she's like in space, she's the robotic, all this stuff. And so, you know, I'm glad they kept Liftoff. And then it cut after Liftoff, right, into like another like kind of almost documentary style. I forget what that one was because
so that one was about Blue.
It was about Blue.
That one was about Blue.
Yeah,
so that one was about Blue.
She started introducing the concept of like her readying her daughter for like the stage and the reason why she allowed her to do it and that whole bit.
Which I mean, y'all, we've been saying Blue is Beyonce's manager. This movie just proves it. That's what this movie is, a Blue movie. That's what this is.
She said we're gonna cut from Diva, and she was like,
she said, "Mom,
no, the fuck we is not.
No, we not. No, we not. Diva who? No, get your ass up there and sing Diva."
It was Beyonce sitting there with her hand on her chin, doing the gentle parenting with what they do these days, being like, "You're not about to cut me off, okay? You don't just interrupt people." Look, but she still gave that eye, and she gave that tilt head, right? And she gave that tone where you talk slow and you talk low like this to let you know that I'm serious. And the moment
Blue said, "But mom," and she said, "But mom with me one more time." That's what that looks like. Beyonce knew the camera was on though.
Look. There was one point in the documentary where the camera person came up and Beyonce said, "Nope, not today.
Not today."
The person left.
She said, "Oh, you right, my bad."
She's like, "Not today. Get out my face."
That's a real moment, though.
But I love that she kept that in there because again, it goes to the idea that like not everything is about like just showing up as perfect for the camera. Like those moments like where she's yawning or she's like tired or like, she's having a bad day or like, she's having they were showing like the physical therapy with her knee and like those moments like humanized the whole process. I mean, it's still astonishing, but it humanized the entire process.
And Blue was right. You can't cut Diva. You can't cut Diva and run the world. Are you kidding me?
And I love that Blue. I love what she said. She was just like, "Yeah, I went online. I saw some not so good comments, but she was like, but I'm gonna get better. Like I'm gonna practice, and practice is how I'm gonna get better." And just to have that thought like that at 11,
can you
imagine?
What I
just got
amazing.
Kids today will still find a way to get online when they need to.
Look,
that's what I took out of it. I was like, even Beyonce's kid will find a way to do what they need to do.
Because didn't Beyonce say in the movie, she was like, I don't even know how she saw that. We
don't allow them.
Yeah. I don't even know how she saw that. Yeah. Like, but it was just so cute. To see that. And I was talking about this on the drive back from the movie theaters with my friends. I love that you can see Blue being encouraged by who her parents are. And instead of afraid of living to the expectations, right? You can tell that they're raising her to be her own individual, not to be like them. And she sees that she has these two amazing superstar talented, parents. And you can see that she knows that she has it in her because of who her parents are, which I think is really beautiful. And I think that is just a testament to their parenting.
Matthew said, "That's a nose right there."
Look, that's a nose.
That's a nose. I was like, we got the second coming Beyonce.
Look. Okay.
Lord. So then I'm Cuff It. I mean, come on, the Cuff It outfit. I mean, she showed a couple of them, but just the leotard with the multicolours. I forget who makes it. It's some famous designer. That might be, I told Corey, that might be, if not my favorite, top 3 outfits of the entire tour. It's just so fire to me. And it's like the nice mix of, it's fucking luxury of all get out, but it's still kind of got a little hood in it. Like you would see a ripoff of this in Houston, Texas, in Atlanta, Georgia, with the black girls, curvy as shit, rocking the shit out there. And I love, like, she still finds a way to get, 1000%, they still give a way to the culture of it, even at this fucking is the most expensive thing on planet Earth.
Wait, okay, I have a question. So, am I the only person who's been doing this lately? Just been like bouncing the titties and going like this and watching y'all titties bounce? Look, I've been sitting here doing it.
I do it all the time. I do it to Corey.
Watching my chest go.
There's a couple moments. It's like in that leotard. It's the one where she had like the pink break my soul.
The pink one, and she had to go like this.
I'm like, them titties is tittying.
Girl.
Titties.
But yes, I also like that. I like the documentary part through it captured that moment when she was talking about the horns and how she wanted that intro. Yep. And she was like, "Oh, I'm glad you got that on camera because I would have forgot everything that I said." Yeah. Like she really just has a knack for this. It is just so crazy to see her just I don't know. The documentary parts, honestly, were my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like,
I want more.
I like because she doesn't do interviews anymore. We don't get to really see much in her life these days. So for me, like the documentary was the best part of the whole thing for me. Again, because unlike the broke bitches, I was able to see her. So I got to see the concert. So for me,
how many
I
times?
just wanted to 2 times.
There we go.
And
2 times.
Hey. So I've been in the club twice. And so now I just wanted to get the extra that was different than being in the club.
Yeah, I need that Blu-ray extended cut. Even though we don't got Blu-rays, all right. That's what I want. I want that extended cut. Because obviously you don't want this movie to be like 5 hours. I would take it. But I get the point of her having to trim and pick and choose. Now I want like the 5-hour edition. That's what I want. The nerd in me wants to see the logistics of everything.
I want all the extra stuff that they left on the floor. Like, because what I so appreciated, like we talked about this earlier, like she did such a great service to the people that were helping making the tour a success. And like, I love the special shout out to the head not her choreographer, but the head dancer or the lead dancer,
her co-captain.
Yes,
Amari.
Yeah,
and really not only shouted her out for the role that she played in embracing just her own self as being, the head of the dance team, but also the role that she's played in shepherding and championing the work that she's been doing with Blue Ivy to help bring her skill up.
And you must be pounding the table.
Yeah, you're hitting your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're making your point.
I'm sorry.
He said, "I said what I said, and I mean it." But no, I agree 1000%. She called out like age. I think it was around this time where the call out the dancers, and then obviously the ballroom scene, and so that was the pieces where she maybe took it a little out of order, where she was like, okay, this is important, but this is a good time to put it in for her to kind of weave the storyline. And I'm glad they showed good old honey Balenciaga.
Yeah.
Just still eating with the tiger crowd.
Wait, hold on. Well, you know what got me when she was talking about the one dancer? She was like, I hired her to be dancing and doing a routine, and your wig come off, and you keep on dancing. She said, I hired her on the spot. Ain't that some crazy shit? I was like,
yes. And this is show like it was her first gig. Like that's again, trusting the process and just doing what you love and doing it at the level that it needs to be done at. Someone will acknowledge your talent.
Yeah.
Right. Can you imagine that being your first gig?
Like, where do you go from there?
Baby.
That one dancer that said, we in Philly, I'm from West Philly, and now I'm all in Europe. And that was the only time that the theater erupted. Because like, oh, West Philly. I was like, okay. But no, I agree. Like, just do it at the level you need to. It works out the way it needs to work out. Yeah. So, all right. So so we did cover it. We go to energy, dope as usual. Break My Soul is still, even though I love the song, still the moment of the show is still my least favorite moment of the show. I said it before. I agree again with myself again. For some reason, Break My Soul didn't translate like it should have to me for some reason. That's maybe the only critique I have for Break My Soul.
I feel like the Break My Soul single was more of a teaser about what to expect than it was the like main course. So even though it was a big song for the summer that it came out at, I feel like in the end, it was literally just a teaser for all the other greatness that was going to be coming, that was going to blow it up. So to me, I wasn't surprised. And nor disappointed at, like the presence of Break My Soul as part of the concert experience, because in my mind, that was a teaser. And
I just feel like it was just too many ideas. Like she had like 3 or 4 different songs, and then you got to get the Queen's remix in there. I would have just preferred like Break My Soul and the Queen's remix together instead of the little, like, I don't know. She did kind of almost like a little break, and it turned into like a little 70s feel. But I was like, I don't need that. Just go straight Break My Soul because it's a bop. Go straight into the Queen's remix and get off the stage to the next thing. That would have worked a lot better for me. And do the little posing at the end, get your ass up the stage.
Yeah, and I ate it all up. I'm sorry, I ate it all up. I loved the whole Madonna reference. And what for me worked, like it was like a double layer, because like you have like the Madonna component of that particular song, and in the same vein, there were a lot of similarities of how things were shot with this documentary compared to the Truth or Dare documentary. So it just, there were so many layers that paralleled one another within that for me, like, made it work.
Yeah. Like, I like the Madonna portion. I just don't like the, I break my soul. She didn't need to do all that. You don't need to add those extra little 70s horn. No. The song is a bop. The Madonna part is a bop. Do the posing at the end. Get off the stage.
To me, that's her signature thing, because she's a horn girl. She always loved her horns.
Yeah.
So to me, that was just very on brand for her. Yeah. And and the other thing too, again, for those who didn't go to the concert as well, that's the only time for certain locations that she actually goes around the center part.
That is true too.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I enjoy that part, because that's another part where she actually connects to. Because unless you got, Thick and you got All Up in My Mind, that was the only time you got something that went around that circular part as well too. Yeah. So for me,
that part I don't mind.
Holds
it was the variation of the song choices. It was too many songs trying to get into one. Just need the 2 songs. Go around the stage still.
Again, love that for you. I'm on the other end. I like it. Yeah. We understand you. We on the other end. We like
Auntie Corell is on the island by herself.
Show him. Show him. All right, so then it went to, let's see here. Then it went to Formation. So I think it was another break. Then it went to Formation, which, I mean, Formation still hits. Formation still fucking hits.
Wait, can we talk about what her baby said? Where are we? Texabama.
Texabama. You know what? We need to shout out Rumi, because this is the most we've seen Rumi, and like hearing her and just seeing her personality now. Yeah. That was super cute.
You got way more screen time than Sir too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sir said I ain't Sir said I ain't I'm good.
I'm into technology. I'll see y'all later.
Right. He's like, I'll see y'all in about 10 years. I'm good. And then it went to Diva. Diva still hits. Diva still feels good. And then is it between Formation and Diva where she, and I said this in the last review, where she was just stunting on us with all the pyro and all the smoke and everything. And they showed it in the film for like a minute. All the different costume changes.
Yeah.
Fire. Stunting on us. Because that shit was expensive.
1000%.
And worth every single penny. Because even digitally, I'm sitting, like, again, it goes back to, like, depending on where you were, if you were able to participate in concert, I don't think that it's possible to fully appreciate taking it all, like being able to take it all in. So like being able to see it through the cinema feature and being able to take in the fullness of what the vision is that she was trying to it was just next level.
It made that Run the World like just hit,
Yeah.
Girl, and just like,
well, and I love how they also cut to Blue and Rumi doing the dance in the back.
They probably know the whole show now. You know, sitting there every night.
Right.
Damn near.
And then after Run the World, it goes into My Power. And so we see the Blue. We see Blue. And that was another one we just see the changes of the outfits. Like the editing of My Power, fire. Fire. And we get to see the dynamic of Beyonce trusting Amari with Blue and things like that. Like that was cool to kind of get that nugget as well. And then we see Amari just eating this girl, eating.
I still like watching Blue perform and having that highlight. It still blows my mind that she's at the time 11 years old. 11. Like,
no, honey, she's still 11. She's a Capricorn. She don't turn 12 until next month.
Okay. But still.
He's still 11.
Right. Still 11.
Okay.
Still 11.
Okay.
She ain't aged.
She ain't grown.
Right.
Love it, love it, love it. So obviously my power, fire. And then I love Beyonce's like, I looked down that hole and I was like, oh my God, why did I agree to this? And that's just the motherly parts of this was cool to get those glimpses. Because like you said, she don't be showing this shit. So we gotta get it where we get it.
Yeah. And just also I just also couldn't think about just, and this was the second time I boohooed. Again around Blue Ivy, and just how she just said, like, as a mother, I can't protect her from all of them.
Right.
Yeah. And just trusting in her daughter and who she is saying she is at 11. And I want to say that I feel like that's just something that we have been all working to generationally change, is to listen to children when they tell you what they can do, right? And start listening to them and getting away from that notion of just stay in a child place. This is what a child place look like. That children can also be smart, and children can do more than we sometimes give them credit for. Not everything, right? But giving them that moment to prove that they have learned the lessons that we've been teaching them. And to see her trusting her daughter and be like, and trusting her parenting to be like, you know what? We've been working towards this. Okay. We're going to do it one time, and then to it to be the whole damn time. Right. It's just ridiculous.
I love that you brought up the comment about parenting, because I think it was eye-opening to see parenting from their perspective. We don't obviously get to see all of it. We don't see the behind the scenes stuff. We don't see whatever. But like, I was just very pleased to see the level of gentleness and care and compassion, but also sternness that Beyonce showed as a mother. And when they did flashbacks to Beyonce's growing up, and they did the whole kind of like homage to Tina and her parents and whatnot, like, you can see that level of parenting has been trickled down from one to the other. And so I just hope that it inspired a lot of new parents that are out there that have young children to think differently about, kind of like how they were raised and the things that might not have served them, growing up, in terms of like spanking and, like name calling and all those kinds of things that are just really just, bad behaviors. But, we have umbrella that as part of discipline. And it was cool to see a different kind of parenting that was also effective.
Yeah, and it fit with the My Power and Black Parade. I mean, like, that's the perfect, like, I don't, like, as meticulous as she is of planning things, I don't think she could have planned this portion as well as the universe let it fit in, because like her plan was just like one show and one show. Honestly, was no show. She wasn't even going to be there. And then for us to literally see the confidence of Blue that she gained, and then to hear now the backstory of it, and then like you said, that the parenting skills that Beyonce has, even when she still had maybe some of those fears and things like that, which is, everyone has that. It's cool, and it couldn't have fit any better with My Power and Black Parade. So it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. Ooh, girl. Okay, hold on. We're gonna have to butt in right quick because we talking. And so again, we're gonna just give you 2 parts. Might as well. Keeps it interesting, and we get all our shit out.
Because we do what? We talk about Beyonce. Okay, if there's one thing y'all know we do, we talk about sex and we talk about Beyonce.
Parts. I mean, come on now. This film is everything.
Absolutely.
So, you know what? Community, be sure to check out next week's episode, because you'll get the remainder of the set list and our additional thoughts, and talking about Uncle Johnny as well, by the way, which is key. And until then, wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.